idea what we're going to do. I know that. And so for me to think that there's actually people in this league talking to people and saying, hey, I'm going to draft this guy at 10, but don't tell anyone, like this is a huge game of poker.
Well, don't expect Howie Roseman to show his hand between now and Thursday's first round of the NFL draft because nobody knows. But that doesn't mean we can't try to guess who might take at picks 10 and 30 or if there could be a trade in store. Welcome into Birds Huddle, powered by PointsBet, along with Barrett Brooks and Dave Zangaro. I am Ashlyn Sullivan. One thing we do know, Howie Roseman is very okay with shaking things up and trading some picks. Howie Roseman has made trades with first-round picks 4 times in the past 5 years. Guys, many think this year is going to be no different.
No, it's not going to be any difference. Howie's going to try to optimize whenever he can do to get the best pick available. If that takes him maneuvering and going up or even going back, he's going to do it. So you don't know what you don't know. Like I stated earlier in the week, you don't know what you don't know.
So don't try to guess. But Dave, you did guess, and it's a pretty good guess, I would say. You released your Eagles-only mock draft today, and you have a trade in the first round. Tell us about it. What's the news?
Shocking. I think there's a real opportunity. And if it's not with the 10th pick, I think 30 is a real opportunity to trade back, maximize some value the way Howie Roseman likes to do it. And I think the real opportunity here is if there's a quarterback still available on the board, it makes a lot of sense for another team to move up there, get their quarterback, get that 5th-year option on that contract. And sometimes the team will overpay to do that. We saw that in 2018 when the Eagles were very opportunistic. They traded out of 32 for the Ravens to move up and get Lamar Jackson. So I think there could be a similar situation here, especially if Hendon Hooker, the Tennessee quarterback, is still there.
Absolutely.
Well, let's dive deeper into the top picks in Dave's Eagles mock draft in tonight's 3-point stance. Number 1, Ohio State offensive tackle Paris Johnson Jr. is the pick at number 10. Dave, this could make a lot of sense to add depth to the offensive line. Johnson playing left tackle and guard at Ohio State, so you have some versatility here. This could make a lot of sense at 10.
Yeah, it seems to track, and it's a position they really care about. I do want to say I reserve the right for everyone to forget about this mock draft when it's all around in a few days. But, I think Paris Johnson makes some sense because there's an immediate hole at right guard, and maybe that's Cam Jurgens, but there's an opportunity to get a player to at least compete for that job. So it fills a short-term need, but then you're also looking at Lane Johnson, who's getting up there in age, and he's still playing at such a high level, but that's the Eagles' MO in the offensive line, is to try to find that replacement before you desperately need one. And that's when some teams get into trouble, is they don't have a backup plan. And last year, we saw the Eagles, they were really healthy all season. Yep. It's just not realistic for that kind of health luck to continue. So I think it makes sense to get a guy who can play right away, but can also give yourself a little bit more depth on the offensive line.
Absolutely.
Knock on wood for the health thing, that's for sure, because you can't bank on that. Depth is a great thing, and Barrett, you're our offensive line expert, and you have been telling me for months that this is your guy over Peter Skoronski, which many think is the best offensive lineman in the draft. You like this guy better.
I do. I just think he brings, more to the table. He's a 6'6" guy, 313 pounds, moves well in space. He finishes plays. He has a nasty disposition about him. When you watch him, he finishes blocks. Look at his technique. Hands out, extends out, and finishes the block. To him, it's not over until, the quarterback throws the ball. And that's what you have to do. I love how aggressive he is and also how he's able to move around in space. Here, he turns around, he passes off the stunt. You have to have great feet for that. He's able to do that. Running the ball, he hits at the next level, drives it in, finishes the block. That's what you want. You want that nasty nature of an offensive lineman. He gives it all to you. Watch him here at guard. This is a guard position. Gets up to the second level. When he gets up to the second level, he finishes the play. That's what you want. This guy can play inside and outside, and they may need him on the inside before they need him on the outside.
And both sides of the line, too.
Exactly. So he'll be a swing tackle. He won't get mad because, it's just like if I try to take a test with my left hand. I'm not trying to hear all that. You play the game, man. And I didn't like when that happened a couple of years ago with Andre Dillard. This guy can do it. He can go from the left side to the right side. He can play guard, both sides. This is a versatile athlete that can come in and play now if they need him to, but get better and be that guy at the tackle position later on, and just in case one of those guys wants to retire or get hurt.
Yeah, swing tackle is always a good thing.
Absolutely.
The more you can do, always and forever. And Dave, let's talk more about this draft situation. You have the Eagles trading out of the 30th pick, moving down 7 spots, number 37, and picking up an extra third rounder on the way, and you're going defense here at number 37. Tell us more.
Hot potato. Here's the name. Adetomiwa Adebare from Northwestern.
It's double A.
You had to pick that name.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. I get that. He's a really good player. And the nice thing about him is he's still so raw. There's so much room for growth. The ceiling's really high. He's a physical freak. He's 6'1", 282, running a sub-4.5 40, which is I almost can't even comprehend a guy that big moving that fast. He's also really good in short areas, 3-cone drill, 7-1-3 at his pro day. So it's not just a straight line speed, it's his ability to move in a unique way, and it's still really raw. I mean, the production in college is not typical of a guy who's in the first round, and that's why you're hoping you get him in the second round, because there are these developable traits that you like in a guy like this. I remember Howie Roseman last week talking about are there traits in a player's body that you want to develop, and you look at this kid and you think, yeah, give me that guy and let him work with our defensive line coaches and let them figure it out, because the ceiling for him extremely high.
Right, and it's not like Barrett, you need a plug-and-play guy right away. So
Exactly.
This could make sense at 37, you think?
It does make a lot of sense because this guy plays long. He's got long arms. He's explosive. Just like Dave said, he ran a 4.5 40. I mean, come on now. He is in the wind. And plus, he's so aggressive at the point of attack. He uses those long arms, separates, keeps the offensive lineman away from his body. He's able to shed blockers. I mean, I can't wait. If Tracy Rock gets this guy, he comes in and he teaches him the little idiosyncrasies of being a defensive lineman. This kid could be very, very special, especially if they really go to a true 3-4 defense. He can play end and he can play on the nose. I like him. He's very talented. So, Dave, right now you're 2 for 2 with me, man. I'm good with you.
I appreciate
good with your draft.
Yeah.
But you're about to make a lot of people very angry, especially on sports radio. You do not have the Eagles taking Texas running back Bijan Robinson at 10 overall. You're going to make everyone upset, all the fans. Well, come on.
I know.
Why?
Yeah, I still don't think the value lines up there for the way the Eagles look at the draft.
Right.
Bijan's a very good player. I know there have been comparisons to Christian McCaffrey coming out. Look, he's not Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey was like a wide receiver running routes. Bijan's not that. He's going to be a very good player. I have a hard time buying them taking him at 10 overall.
No question.
But you do have Devin Achane out of Texas A&M, and you're really shaking things up here with a rival school at 62. So why that guy? Why add to the running back room with this prospect?
All gas, no brakes. This dude is super fast, 4.3, 240, and it shows up on the playing field too. And you hear about an undersized running back who has that kind of speed, and you think, okay, he's got straight line speed and that's it. No, he's got some bounce to him. He has great vision. You see that in the second level. He can return kicks. And like I kind of mentioned a bit ago, like he has the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. His receiving numbers weren't great in college, but he's shown that ability. And once you have that, now you have a versatile piece that you can play in the backfield. You can move him in the slot. You can find ways to get him the football. And you just want a versatile piece. You don't want he's never going to be a bell cow probably.
Nope.
He doesn't have that frame, but that's okay. I think the way we've seen the Eagles use their running backs, they don't need that. They just need pieces that fit, and I think he would fit great.
And they do already have a couple pieces in the room. Even losing Miles Sanders, the Eagles still have Kenny Gainwell, Boston Scott, Rashad Penny in their running back room. So a speedster like this to add to that rotation could be a really good
Absolutely.
thing.
You know, and what Dave didn't say, he runs well in between the tackles. Even though he's a small guy, 5'8", 185 pounds, he likes to run the ball in between the tackles. He's not shying away from hitting the guy either. But that 4.3 speed, it really shows up on camera. And I like the fact that we can punt him in on the return game. That's where I'd put him, in the return game. He could be a major force at kickoff return or maybe even punt return.
Yeah, and I want to be clear. So people are going to hear undersized running back, runs well between the tackles. They're going to think, oh, no, this isn't Donnell.
Right.
This isn't Donnell Pumphrey. And no, it's not, because Donnell Pumphrey did not have 4.3 speed.
No.
A-Chain has the type of speed that can break open a game. He's a home run threat every time he touches a football. And adding that to this offense that already averaged, 28-something points per game last year, it's really exciting.
That's exciting just to think about. And there is much more to get to. Here is the playbook. Some Eagles fans will lose their minds if the Texas running back Bijan Robinson isn't the pick at number 10 on Thursday. We'll discuss that and other draft overreactions we're hearing of late. Plus, the odds have shifted dramatically for Kentucky's Will Levis to be the number 1 overall pick. We're telling you who should go number 1 and why are we talking about mayonnaise coffee? We'll explain. Don't even try to guess. Birds Huddle is coming right back. round one of the draft is just 2 nights away, and we've got you covered with our on-the-clock specials on Thursday. We'll have a pre-draft special at 5 o'clock, leading right into Birds Huddle at 6. Then as the draft winds down around 11 o'clock, we'll come right back on the air to break down the Eagles' moves. Don't miss it. Well, it's time for the Birds Lounge, presented by Curado Insurance. Ashlyn Sullivan, Dave Zangaro, and Barrett Brooks back here with you, and nothing brings out more overreactions like the NFL draft. Everyone, media fans, and especially sports talk radio, when I'm on my way to the dog park in the morning, have had months to overanalyze these prospects.
No question.
And guys, the biggest one by far is Texas running back Bijan Robinson. He has to be the pick at number 10. It only makes sense. And I hear you, Nuts radio callers. A quarterback's best friend is a strong running game, and Bijan Robinson is by far the best running back prospect we have seen in years. That's why he's most likely going to be a first-round pick. But if the Eagles decide they don't want to spend their 10th overall pick on a running back with a shorter career than, say, a defensive lineman, it's going to be okay. Right, Barrett?
It's definitely going to be okay. Come on now. I mean, but in all actuality, he'll fit in anybody's system. He's that good of a talent. I mean, what he brings to the table is versatility to go out there, catch the ball in the backfield, run in between the tackles. But is it necessarily a need that the Eagles need right now? No, it's not. So don't be mad, Philadelphia, that he does not fit in the scheme work of what they're trying to do and accomplish this year. They got to go defense or they got to go in the trenches, one of the two. Jalen Carter is definitely good. I mean, Bijan Robinson is very good.
There's a Freudian slip there. You were just not thinking about Jalen Carter.
I've been wishing upon a star. Wishing upon a star that I might have. But yes, I mean, Bijan Robinson at this point, you got to think that, I don't think he's going to be there at 10. That's one thing. I don't think he's going to be there at 10, just to be honest.
Interesting. I think he will be, but I look at him, and I think it is just the nature of the position. It's a shorter shelf life, and it's so rare that a team that's as good as the Eagles have a top 10 pick, and they don't plan on being here very often. I mean, they think they have a team that's going to compete for years and years, and so it might be a while before they see the top 10 again. They want to get a cornerstone piece. They're looking at guys like Lane Johnson, Fletcher Cox, guys that they got early in the first round who have become cornerstone pieces, even Brandon Graham going back over a decade ago. They want someone who's going to be here as a cornerstone piece for the next decade, and realistically, that is not going to be a running back.
That makes sense. All right, so you mentioned Jalen Carter. I know you've been thinking,
all
dreaming.
I want for Christmas. That's all I want for Christmas is Jalen Carter.
Well, what's the overreaction then? Because there's some.
Well, the overreaction is just not, it's not feasible for us. We're not going to be able to trade up to get that type of talent. You're going to have to go either top 5 or top 6. And the only way you can do that is to give up draft picks in the first round, both draft picks in the first round, to pick this guy up. I just don't think Howie's going to invest that much in one player, especially when we don't have enough picks right now in this draft anyway. 6 picks, Howie Roseman right now is shaking. He's feeling right now because he needs more opportunities to make more of an impact in this draft. Jalen Carter is a unicorn. This guy is built to last. I know he messed up the last half of the last couple of months, but at the end of the day, film does not lie, and he is a special type of player, a special kid, and he's going to make somebody a very, very good player come draft day.
Going to make a lot of fans happy. And I know, Dave, you have heard your fair share of overreactions. What's the biggest one for you?
I have, and kind of piggybacking off my latest mock draft, I know offensive line is not exciting. No offense, Barrett. It's not an exciting position. I get that. Sure, someone told me I had the most boring mock draft. I'll take that trophy. I'll wear that. Boring is fine. Boring can be good, and I think offensive line would be a wise way to use the 10th pick if it's the right player. And you kind of look at the Eagles' MO in recent years. The last 2 second-round picks they've had, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens. They drafted them before they needed them. Look, last year they didn't need Cam Jurgens. The team was healthy. 2 years ago, Landon Dickerson was supposed to have a redshirt season. All of a sudden, he's starting at right guard. He's starting at left guard. He finds his home. He's a Pro Bowl player.
After 4 games, he was in there.
Yeah, so I think it's not too early to use it. And you look at the depth situation right now. They lost 2 of their best depth pieces because you lose Isaac Seumalo, who was a starter, and it pushes everyone else up, and you lose Andre Dillard. So, and we talked about the health, right? I mean, you can't count. Go ahead, we'll do it again.
Do it again.
Right.
Do it again. Knock on wood, but you can't count on it. So I think it makes sense to just have that depth in place. And if you can get a guy like Paris Johnson or Peter Skoronski, or even a little bit later in the round, add Wright or Jones, find a guy who makes sense. Use that pick or use one of those picks on a cornerstone position that you care about.
Yeah.
Boring's okay. We're okay with boring.
Boring's fine. I'll take
it. Works.
I've been called worse.
Plug and play. We love it. More draft talk on the way, including some crazy movement on the odds to be the #1 overall pick on Thursday night. And as we break, it's time for Birds Trivia. We want to know, speaking of boring, what is the highest pick the Eagles have used on an offensive lineman? And who was that player? That answer and more when we come back. We are back with Birds Trivia. What is the highest pick the Eagles have used on an offensive lineman? The
Barrett
answer
Brooks?
is possibly no. Hall of Fame tackle Bob Brown, who took the Eagles' second overall pick in the 1964 draft. Brown was a first or second team All-Pro in all 5 of his seasons with the Eagles. He went on to play 5 or more seasons with the Rams and Raiders and got his gold jacket in Canton in 2004.
I missed it by that much.
You're next. You're definitely second in line. All right, it's time for Storylines powered by PointsBet, the official sports betting partner of NBC. PointsBet is giving bettors 60 days of bonus bets now through the end of May as part of PointsBet Power Hour. Check the app every day between 6 and 7 p.m. for your bonus bet that can be used on any same-game parlay. PointsBet, your move. Well, speaking of storylines, how about this crazy movement on the odds for University of Kentucky quarterback Will Levis to all of a sudden be named the #1 overall pick in the NFL draft? At 5 p.m. last night, Levis was plus 5,000 to go #1, but then the odds started shifting dramatically. His odds were as low as plus 175 this afternoon. Tonight, he's at plus 600, the second best odds behind Alabama quarterback Bryce Young. This is nuts. I can't understand what's going on here. I always thought it made sense Indianapolis at 4 would be the best pick for someone like Will Levis, maybe an Anthony Richardson based on what you like. He's really hard to pick up because he had an excellent pro day, tested so well. But playing at University of Kentucky, his game tape isn't as impressive. I had someone in the league say, well, he threw to bartender, so how are we supposed to know what he's like?
Absolutely.
There's real things there. And now he's the #1 overall pick? I don't get it.
It's kind of crazy because when you look at it, the kid has everything if you want from a passer. I mean, he has an arm, a gun. He can run around a little bit, but he got his head kicked in. His offensive line did him no favors this year. And plus, the offense he was running was very generic, very bland. So that's why he didn't have the same offense that he ran when he had Liam Cole in there. I mean, when he was there, he had it open up the offense and everything, but then he went to the Rams. But now he's back. It doesn't do any Will Levis any justice because he's leaving right now. But I think if he got a little more tutelage, some more players around him, some more weapons, I think he would have been a much better quarterback. But you can't gauge that right now because they can't make the same mistakes that you saw Wilson come with the Jets. You can't make those mistakes when you're having a franchise type of quarterback you're trying to draft this early.
Right, especially #1 overall. And we hear all the comparisons to Josh Allen. Small school, not a lot of game tape. Look how he turned out. So there are unicorns, but it's risky.
Got to be patient, too.
Yo, absolutely.
You have to go to a team that's patient with you. You saw Josh Allen. It took a while to get to that point. I think it's going to take a while for Levis, too.
All right, well, whenever Will Levis gets picked, he's going to bring some strange eating habits with him. The man eats bananas with the peel on them and puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
What?
It's really weird. We're going to discuss it, and none of us agree with it. I can promise you that.
No.
We'll be back. All right, it is time for the Hurry Up, sponsored by Meineke. Kentucky quarterback Will Levis is expected to be a top 10 pick on Thursday night, and if he's getting coffee for the veterans next season, look out. They better be careful because Levis takes his coffee with mayonnaise. What? That is right, mayonnaise. I don't know if it's with cream, without cream, but there's mayonnaise in the coffee, and that's just not okay.
That can't be a thing.
He eats bananas with the peel on them and brings a whole new meaning to a breakfast of champions. So #1 of the Hurry Up. Barrett, what's your weirdest eating habit?
My weirdest eating habit is that when I was playing, I would have to have fried chicken with ranch dressing on it and mashed potatoes before every game.
Before the game?
Before every game. Ooh.
What?
Yes, before every. I might have been a Pro Bowl if I didn't. But hey, I'm just sorry. That's what I had to have. Mashed potatoes with ranch on them with fried chicken. Had to have it.
That just makes me sick thinking about that. Okay. 2, Dave, would you rather drink mayonnaise coffee or eat a banana with the peel on it? You You have to pick one.
Well, whatever the option is aside from putting mayonnaise in my coffee, I'm taking that. Banana with the peel. It's not the worst thing, I guess. And I'm not drinking coffee with. Earlier, Barrett said he was going to drink coffee with mayo, and I was waiting for him to do it. And he's like, "No, I'm going to do it tonight." No,
when no one's watching?
I want
Yeah,
to
right.
watch you do it.
Yes.
Believe that?
No, I'm not doing it. That's part of the. How do you even conceptually think about putting mayonnaise
Can we make
in
a
coffee
bet
anyways?
and the loser has to drink coffee with mayo?
Yeah, let's do that.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure out a bet.
Little do you both know, you're doing it Thursday on our draft promo.
See, that's
It's the first segment.
Ashlyn always see she always
Watch for that,
She's
at the
starting
least.
trouble. See, she's starting trouble now.
All right, that is a wrap for Birds Huddle, powered by PointsBet. For Barrett Brooks and Dave Zangaro, I am Ashlyn Sullivan. We will see you tomorrow. The draft, 2 days away, coming soon.